changing behavior is really hard, both when you ask a patient to change their behavior and when we ask a system to change its behavior. And so there's no magic bullet. They need to affect a lot of different things in order to actively change a system or a person or themselves. And when we often talk about behavior, we think of like this poor kid in like timeout, right? Like bad behavior. And that's not really what we're going for here. We're really going for reliable behavior. But really think about, okay, what do I need to do to change my system so I can be more reliable? And it's the same thing we want in healthcare, right? We see 1,000 patients a month. We should probably be giving them all about the same healthcare. So this class is the Quality Improvement 101 mini elective. 3 sessions with about 10 first-year students, and each of them learns how to do quality improvement, learns about how quality improvement functions in medical care, but then also discusses and works on a quality improvement project for themselves.
I started the course really because I was interested in quality improvement. A lot of surgical errors are due to miscommunications, and that can be improved with quality improvement projects.
It's very easy to say, Mr. Smith, please stop smoking, it'll cause lung cancer. But it's really hard for Mr. Smith to stop smoking. And so I want them to appreciate how challenging this is, and each of them discusses and works on a quality improvement project for themselves. So going running more, getting more sleep, spending more time with their spouse or significant other. That piece allows them to not only benefit themselves, but also directly apply these tools to their own life. So it has real relevance to them. How about you? Do you have an aim statement?
So my aim statement is by May, I will increase my weight training to 4 times per week. And this is to both reduce weight and also increase strength.
Perfect. So the weight becomes somewhat maybe of an outcome, or the amount of weight you can lift could be the outcome.
My aim statement was to use the principles of productive scheduling at least 5 times every week until the end of the course. And I realized that I was spending a lot of time, let's say on Facebook, and not really like counting off that time. So what I thought was 20 minutes ended up being like, an hour and a half. And I thought that if I tracked my time and how I was using it efficiently, I would be able to cut down on waste time.
Well, good work, everybody, on having some good solid aim statements. That's like the key centerpiece of our model for improvement. Now, what do you do? Like, how do you get there? Besides being like, oh my God, I gotta exercise because we have class with Mike next week. Like, which I do too, right? I floss more before I go to the dentist. There are 3 tools that you guys can try tomorrow. Push, pull, forcing function commitments. 3 really, really easy tools that you guys can do PDSA cycles on. First one's called push, pull. Right? And so this is the idea that we often try to push people into behaviors. And what do I mean by this? This is your mom nagging you to do your homework. Instead, we want to think about how to pull ourselves or other people into the behaviors we want them to do. How do we get someone to want to do the things that we want them to do, right? Anyone have any ideas of how they could use a forcing function to accomplish their aims? Yeah, Michael.
So I started doing this, I started parking my car at like an 8:30 spot. So I always have to move it in the morning. I have to wake up at 7 a.m. and move it in the morning. And so at that point, I might as well just go to the gym.
Great forcing function. That's a really terrific idea. And we use that with patients too. Instead of getting off the bus at your stop, get off 2 stops early, right? And then you're walking, right? You get that exercise. Perfect examples, guys. Commitment. Tell everyone that I'm going to do the behavior. Write it down. That kind of stuff. PDSA cycle those. Test them out. See if they improve your data. Because, right, you're going to continue to collect this data now every week so we can see that improvement. Right? That's your goal for the next 4 weeks, is to continue to collect data and try different PDSA cycles, different tests of change. Quick review of what we're doing next time. Please email me your slides. You make 1 slide for each of those things on the rubric. And what you're going to do is print them out, 1 slide per page, and then when you come in next time, we're going to tape them all up. And half of you are going to be standing by your posters, and the other half of us are going to be walking around asking questions, and then we're going to switch. I'm happy to sit around and bat around ideas with you and go through tools with you and do whatever it is that can be helpful. We don't want you sort of stuck on your own because we're all here. That's the point of this group, is to help each other do this stuff. And so when you're out in class tomorrow, Jen, go up to Patricia and covertly, discreetly, be like, so how much did you lift today? Right? And Haim, go up to Michael and say, Michael, did you practice piano today? What'd you play? I really hope students understand that changing behavior is really hard, both when you ask a patient to change their behavior and when we ask a system to change its behavior. And so you need lots of people working together in order to ensure that behavior change happens. But that's the thing, right? We're kind of all in this together. Cool? questions? All right, we'll see you on May 17th, y'all.
I've been keeping track of how frequently I hit my targets in terms of scheduling time to do something and whether or not I do it. I think I've been doing pretty well.
So today we're going to do the poster session, right? That's our final culmination. The goal, though, of today is to help you improve even further. And so what's going to happen is half of you are going to stand by your posters, and half of you are going to walk around and be active participants.
One of the concepts of productive scheduling, which was just creating blocks of time where I could get stuff done. Baseline data showed 4 weeks of...
This was a great exercise for me to learn the basics of quality improvement and how these measures can both be used in my life and hopefully in my future practice.
So to have a tool that's kind of outlined how to do this in a systematic way has been very helpful. So I kind of even use it, I think, now for other things. So just even in my own experience, I know like it's very hard to change habits, and I think the average time we learned for people to quit smoking is like 12 times. So I think it's very important to understand that it is difficult for patients to change habits, and maybe having gone through this class now, I can say these are the systematic sort of ways that maybe you can even take a look at to help you tackle this. I definitely think I understand now how difficult it is.
So one of the things I hadn't known before the project that contributed to my success was invoking friends, family, and focusing on what I know makes me tick.
What I identified was that if I could use my significant other, get her invested in this. There was a week where I did not make my goal, and that was quite the conversation.
A patient is not a data point. A patient is not a run chart. A patient has a whole life to make behavior change. And as a physician, I need to do as many QI projects as I can to make that happen.
I think it was helpful because everyone knows that quality improvement is important, but this helps us put a structure around that. So we now have specific tools, specific frameworks for thinking about quality improvement that I think will be helpful and that we can apply in the hospital.
I'll leave you with two things. One, this is really important as doctors. So please, please, please continue to do it. Continue to think about it as you progress through second year, third year, fourth year. Think about how to improve systems, not how to yell at people or blame people or point fingers at people. Because we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes all the time, and our goal is really to change the system. And then two, I'm inspired by all this amazing work you guys did. Like, I'm going to go home and go running on the treadmill today for sure. So thank you for that. Continue to inspire each other, right? So I'm not here, Anjali's not here, but go and you talk to each other and say, you know, Jen, how's it going? Patricia, how's your lifting right now? Are you playing piano, Michael? Like, continue to work together. Don't lose these amazing gains you've made over the last 4 weeks, and continue to be a group that will sort of like give a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge when you're passing each other in the elevator to say, hey, how's that going? Are you still working on that? And you guys will hopefully continue to have really amazing, wonderful careers and lives because of it. So, great job, guys. Thank you.